From Phoenix Force to Phoenix Right, nerds are passionate about a lot of things, but there's something they love above all else, and that is correcting people. This is Actually. Joining us on the episode today, we have Shane Crone.
Hello.
Jenny Lorenzo.
Let's get dangerous.
And Erika Ishii.
Hey!
How's everyone feeling?
Good.
Super.
A little bit of nerves, a little tense,
God. Seriously, yes.
Yeah? We'll ease right into it. I mean, Shane's the only one who's done this before, right?
Yes, I have done this before.
Yeah, you sound more intense than everyone else.
Yeah, how did it go? If that's his reaction, and he's the one who's
Here I
done
go.
it before.
Because I know what to expect, and I know that I will not be
Yeah.
the same on the other end.
All right, well, the game is very simple. This is a stack of statements. These are false, untrue statements about the things you know and love. It's up to you to find what's wrong and correct me. And there's like 2 rules. You have to precede all your corrections with actually, sort of like Jeopardy style. If you don't answer an actually, I won't give you the point. And you can interrupt me whenever you want. As soon as you spot what's wrong, you can jump right in there and prove that you're smarter than me, just like in real life. You can feel free to grab your buzzers. Let's jump right in. The BBC series Torchwood follows a small group of people from the Torchwood Institute, a government organization founded in the Victorian era to defend Earth from supernatural threats. The name Torchwood itself is a reference to Shakespeare's The Tempest. Yep.
Actually, it's not based on The Tempest.
It's not a reference to The Tempest. Yeah, I'll give you the point unless someone can tell me where the name does come from. So Torchwood is not a reference to The Tempest. So your
should
point
know this.
unless someone can say where Torchwood comes from.
I should know this.
Shane.
Actually, Torchwood is from Othello.
No, it is not.
Can we just go through his entire oeuvre and, actually, it's about much ado about nothing.
We can go through the entirety of Shakespeare's works,
Given
but I
an
will
infinite
say
amount of
it is
time.
not a reference to any Shakespeare work.
figured
So
that.
rather than getting stuck here forever, I'll give the point to Jenny. Yeah, it's not a reference. It's not a reference to The Tempest. Torchwood is just an anagram for Doctor Who. So when they spun off it was like a working title that they rearranged, and then they're like, oh, this actually works as a good title for a show. That's Torchwood.
My car is blue because of the TARDIS. And I have a bumper. I just give up. I should have known this. This is embarrassing.
Did you watch Torchwood as well as Doctor
I
Who?
did not.
Okay. So you don't need to know then.
Yeah, and
No,
plus,
but
it's
it's
like
like-
you could have watched all of it and still not been good at Scrabble.
Yeah. You weren't constantly rearranging the letters of Doctor Who to see what it might make.
That's fine. Cool. Thanks for the point.
Yeah, it's yours now. This is about Captain Planet. In Captain Planet, Gaia gives 5 special rings to the 5 chosen Planeteers. 4 are based on the Platonic elements, earth, fire, wind, and water, while the remaining ring, Heart, is little use on its own, but necessary for summoning Captain Planet. Yes, Shane.
Actually, they're all equally necessary for summoning Captain Planet. There's nothing special about Heart.
They are all necessary to summoning Captain Planet. You're. I'm gonna say no. You're in the right area, but you're. Jenny.
Actually, it's meant to change the hearts of the bad guys and bring everybody together like a happy family.
No. Well, no. No. I mean, I guess metaphorically, but not magically. Erika.
Actually, Mati does use the ring on his own, apart from the rest of them.
Yeah.
I think was there like a dolphin episode or something? I think it was a dolphin episode. Somebody made friends with a dolphin.
Yeah, you're getting right to it. So really what I'm asking here is, what does the heart ring do?
Friendship?
It's more than
Does it do friendship?
It does
Emily.
blood. It does blood. I don't know.
All I know is no one wanted to be Heart in the playground, okay? Fire, and I'm like, it's like being like Sporty Spice. You know
I
what I mean?
always called water because that was the Asian chick.
Yeah.
I don't know about
It's
heart.
about who cares
Yeah,
about
yeah,
Heart.
okay.
Screw that guy.
I care about heart. Gosh, I feel like I could equally give it to either Jenny or Erika or to no one. Yeah, anyone want to take a stab at beyond the sort of metaphorical opening people's hearts? What does the heart power do?
This is so deep.
What is heart all about? What is love? If anyone can answer what is love, I will give you 1 point.
Shakespeare.
Baby, don't hurt me.
Baby, don't hurt me no more. Yeah, no, that's, we'll go ahead. We'll just call this one a wash. So the power of heart is like, it's telepathy. It's communicating with animals. It's a very powerful thing that, and you're right, like everyone was always like, fuck Mati, fuck
get
heart.
older.
It's like, it's Professor X with a monkey.
Wait, I was gonna say, was that actually telepathy? That is the most
It's the most important
one.
power. It's crazy. Like we as kids, it was always just like, yeah, no, what does heart do? It's like that's not shooting lasers or fire or wind or anything like that.
I feel like if they'd called it instead of heart, mind screw or something, then people would have wanted to be Mati on the playground more
Wind,
often.
water, mind screw. No 1 point to Mati, no points to anyone else. Here we go. The unified Zelda timeline that attempts to link all the Zelda games into one coherent timeline is incredibly convoluted, involving time travel and split timelines. While Nintendo hasn't confirmed any one official timeline, most fans agree that the first game chronologically is Minish Cap, and the timeline splits at Ocarina of Time. Shane.
Actually, Minish Cap was not the first one. The first one is Skyward Sword.
That's correct. Yep, you got it. I was going to say, like, can you fill in the rest of this information? And you very slowly did.
I was hoping you would say that's correct before I had to take a chance on it not being the right
I wanted
one.
to see if you would do it and maybe throw it around if you couldn't. But yeah, Skyward Sword is the first chronologically. Yeah.
And also, they did somewhat confirm it because they published the guide, the guide to Hyrule. And it's this big leather-bound,
that
impressive
giant book
tome,
thing?
and it has the timeline where it splits an Ocarina of Time. And so there are two different split timelines depending on whether or not he saves time in the future with the time skip or in the past.
Actually, there's 3 timelines.
Or if he
There's the
fails.
child and then 2 adult timelines
Yeah.
in which he wins and which he loses.
Because I know for a long time it was just sort of like, oh, we're just making games, and then the fans were like, no, it all fits together. It's great that they have sort of like taken that in, because it does feel like the work of a few extremely devoted fans trying to puzzle together a convoluted puzzle, and then Nintendo just being like, yeah, that's right. That's what we are going
right.
for.
Thanks, fans.
Well, great. That's a point for Shane. This one is about Star Trek. In Star Trek, Q is a Q from the planet Q. He and his wife, Q, have a son named Q.
Lord have mercy.
Shane.
Actually, the son's name is R.
I love that guess, but no. I should specify too, it doesn't really come across on the page. His son's name is Q. It's a lowercase q. Sometimes they call him little q, but it is still Q, yes.
Damn, y'all, you didn't read
There's
the rest of the alphabet.
Very well thought out mythology here from
There's only one thing wrong with what I've just said.
I'm sure there is.
All right, I feel like by process of elimination,
yep,
we can
that's
figure
how-
out which of these is not named Q.
There's an imposter Q in here. I think as a team we can figure
Jenny.
it out.
Actually, it is not the planet Q.
That's correct.
Wow.
Hey! It's just, I used to watch Star Trek growing up, but it
Yeah.
was like in the background on
Yeah.
my little TV set. And I don't know.
Do you know where he is from?
I don't know the name of the actual planet.
Actually, is it the Dimension Q?
Oh, you're on the right track. I'll keep the point for Jenny, but he's from the Q continuum, which is basically another way of the sort of the Q dimension. But yeah, everything else Q is a Q from the Q continuum, with a wife Q and a son named Q. It's just Q. It's Q all the way around.
Okay.
Was there another writer's strike or something that happened?
Someone had a broken keyboard. And they're just like, oh, what do we call this guy? Like, all right, we are going to move on to our first shiny question of the game. Now, shiny questions are like shiny Pokemon in that they're worth the same amount of points. They're just a little bit different and a little bit rarer. So this is a game that we call Match the Voice. We're gonna ask you to match a character with the voice actor who plays them. Whoever can name the most correctly will get the point. Go ahead and flip those over. Let's take a look at them. Can't tell if Jenny's done or frozen in fear.
Like, so intense right now. 'Cause I love cartoons and I don't want to screw this up.
Let's go ahead and flip those around. All right, Shane, walk us through who'd you choose here for what?
Well, I've got James Avery, as, who I believe is Uncle Phil.
Yes, he was.
As Shredder.
Yes, the same character, really.
Yes. J.K. Simmons really threw me.
Uh-huh.
So I was like, I am unaware of his voice acting career. So I was like, Yellow M&M?
Uh-huh.
Maybe.
Maybe.
Jaleel White as Sonic. That's kind of another guess. I'm not sure about Sonic. Jessica Walter as the dinosaur. Meg Ryan as, I'm not familiar who this character is.
That's Dr. Blight from Captain Planet.
And Vin Diesel as the Iron Giant, which is the only one that I knew for sure. Or I knew James Avery also.
Yes. It looks like also everyone else has the exact same thing slotted in. And I'm very happy to say these are all 6 totally right. So everyone gets 1 point for being 100% correct on all these. Yeah, I love that cartoon. They're like actors here. It's like, oh, it would be very easy for you to just be like cast as like, you're just Steve Urkel forever. And I'd be like, no, I can, this is like a way for me to do something else. I can be Sonic for a little while, you know?
A lot of actors find a second career in voiceover, primarily because they're very, very good actors, but a lot of times on camera, Hollywood still sees them as one thing. So Mark Hamill being the Joker was a huge epiphany, just because he'd only been Luke Skywalker and they were only ever wanting to see him as Luke Skywalker. So giving him the Joker was brilliant.
Yeah. Well, everyone had the same answers and everyone got it totally right. So 1 point for everyone.
Awesome.
Hurrah.
Ding, ding, ding. Some of you noticed a few mistakes that we made in our last episode. Here are our favorite corrections from you.
At Caleb Anderson says, Fin Fang Foom from the Marvel Comics is not a dragon, but in fact an alien from Kakarana Thara that merely resembles a Chinese dragon due to his mind being merged with a statue of one. I'm sorry for judging Fin Fang Foom by his appearance. 1 point for Caleb. At CurlyB987 says, actually Nicolas Cage portrayed Superman in Teen Titans Go to the Movies. That's correct, but you spelled Nicolas Cage wrong, so that'll be 1 point for me too. And from the Dropout Discord, Chloe says, actually simply offering a cucumber to a kappa isn't enough to dissuade it from attacking. Traditionally, you have to carve or write the name of the person or family you want the kappa to leave alone on the cucumber before sending it down the river. 1 point for Chloe for these cucumber facts.
This is about Power Rangers. Being a Power Ranger might seem like an incomparable honor, but it's actually fairly common for Power Rangers to come and go. In fact, in the original series, Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, only Kimberly the Pink Ranger and Billy the Blue Ranger appear in every episode from start to finish. Jenny.
I believe the Yellow Ranger was also there from start to finish.
No.
Womp.
Well, Shane.
Actually, Billy missed 1 episode.
No, that's incorrect.
Damn. Like, you remember that?
You got something on your mind.
Actually, if we count after they added Tommy as the Green or White Ranger, then he would have been all throughout the rest of that season of Mighty Morphin as well.
Yeah, but he wasn't in the
He wasn't in the
first couple
start.
ones. Yeah, he wasn't at the start. Yeah. Look, I think we're gonna get stumped here, so no points on this one. Shane, you were on the right track, but you just got your specific wrong. Kimberly, the Pink Ranger, doesn't quite finish out the season. There's a couple episodes at the very end where she moves to Florida and doesn't actually finish.
That's right, because then Cat comes in.
Yes.
Oh my God! How can I forget about Cat? She's the hot blonde one. Guys.
Why would you move to Florida? You're young. I moved away from Florida.
She moves to Florida to
Love you.
compete in the Pan Global Games, which I believe is the license-free version of the Olympics. But yeah.
For how long?
What?
How long do the Olympics last?
I mean, the
You're
implication.
to stop being a Power Ranger?
Well, here's the thing. This is what I'd love to talk about. Is because the implication is sort of like, listen, you have to choose between being a Power Ranger and going to the Olympics. And it's like, well, I gotta follow my passion. It's like, hold on a second. You're the world here. It's like, yeah, but I could get a gold medal.
But like there was another Pink Ranger that showed up on the scene around the same time she was thinking about going, and like Tommy got along better with her too. So
like, why
she's
is
like,
she-
well, you know, there's somebody that can take over. It's fine.
It does.
Girl's gotta live her life, okay? Don't judge.
Don't tell her she can't go be in the Pan Global Games.
Yeah.
All right. Well, no points for that one, unfortunately. All right, here we go. The Sword in the Stone is a novel by T.H. White and an animated Disney film that tells the tale of how a young King Arthur claimed the title of king by pulling a sword from a stone that mysteriously appeared in London. Shane.
Actually, it was not in London.
Was in London.
It wasn't.
It was.
It wasn't.
You are not getting a point for this one. What I have said is
I think
correct,
if I
and what
trip you
you
up on
have
the words
said.
enough, you might.
Try to just like mind trick me into giving you a point. It's like it wasn't in London.
If I have
isn't
enough
Captain
conviction, it'll work.
Yeah.
Can't do this here.
Yes.
Actually, it's the Once and Future King.
He did write The Once Future King, but also there is also The Sword in the Stone that is a separate book. Yeah, I know. Yeah, different points of Arthur's life. Shane, you're slow. Yes. What is? Yes.
Actually, it didn't mysteriously appear. It had been there for a while.
It had been there for a while, but when it appeared, it was pretty mysterious. No one put it there. Johnny didn't come like with a big old hand truck. Like, it's just Sword and Stone. I know someone delivered this.
Someone signed for it.
So someone's gonna be king when you pull this thing out. Yeah,
There's
it's
always
yours.
a paper trail when there's a mysterious thing that appears.
I'll say this question is me being a very tricky little asshole.
Okay, then one more time.
That is
Tricky
the
little
technical term for what I'm doing with this question, which is being a tricky little asshole. I'll call this one. This is being hyper pedantic here, but in fact, the sword is in an anvil. The sword in the stone is a sword in an anvil on top of a stone. Even though it's called the sword in the stone,
Is it that way in the book too?
it is
Come
that way in the
on.
book. It is a sword in an anvil, even though it's
tricky.
called the sword in the stone.
And I go to Disneyland every goddamn week. And it's there in front of that
It's
stupid
there.
carousel.
It's there. It's like it's animated. It's right there. There's a
And
big
I
old picture. It's
know.
rammed right in that anvil.
and that Full House episode.
Everyone walks around all the time. The sword in the stone. The sword. It's in an anvil. It's in an anvil.
So why did they...
What's it
Why
made
would they
of?
call
What-
it that?
Is it made of the chemical composition of it? Is it
Tell-
a stone? Is anvil
You-
shaped stone?
You're asking me if the anvil is made of stone?
Probably iron.
Yeah, I don't think a stone anvil
yeah.
would do a good
Like, it
job.
doesn't sound good.
No, I
The
mean
sword in
it's
the
housing
anvil.
a sword. It's not being used as an anvil. I'm not trying to get points out of this. I'm just trying to have a conversation.
I'm just asking some questions here. We'll see where we
Just trying to
wind
build
up.
out my sword in the stone knowledge.
Yeah.
That was a tricky little asshole.
I hate. You know
Yeah.
what? Guilty as charged. I apologize.
But what's this show about if not these
It's not
tricky little
just a bunch
asshole
of
Exactly.
tricky
details?
little asshole questions. And with that, this is about Game of Thrones, and is also another tricky little asshole question. Brought to Westeros by the Andals, the faith of the Seven's adherents worships 7 gods: the Crone, Father, Maiden, Mother, Smith, Stranger, and Warrior. The look on your face, Shane. What do you?
There's so many things that could be wrong with this, but nothing's obvious. We're just gonna go down these gods.
Hey.
We're just gonna go
Just
down
sipping
the
on your
list.
drink there, just watching us
Listen, I'm
die.
not.
slowly.
I'm gonna give you all a fighting chance to get these points. I'm not gonna tell. Yeah, Erika.
Actually, it wasn't the Andals that brought it over.
It was.
Was it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Foof. Shane.
Actually, the Smith and Warrior were the same god.
You're strangely on the right track. I don't want to give you the point
Because you know I'm guessing?
because as I know you're guessing, and it's still not quite right. But will admit that this is a tricky question, so I will give you the point unless someone can, with the hint that Shane is on the right track here. Anyone have a guess?
I read the books and everything, and I just there's a lot of details in there, man. Like,
Yeah.
do you know how many family trees you have to flip through to even have a working understanding of the story?
Yeah, this is the politics. It's
No,
like, well,
but religion is the
damn
last thing that I'm gonna do a deep dive into.
all right. Well, you know what, Shane? I will give you a point begrudgingly.
Begrudgingly.
Thank you. I'll make it up to you.
All right. What you said is accurate. You just don't have the full scope, which is that they're not 7 separate gods, but rather 7 aspects of the same God. In the same way the Holy Trinity is aspects of one God, it is incorrect to say that there are 7 separate gods. Look, I said it's a shitty little asshole question. I'm being a tricky little asshole. I don't know what's like. I warned you all ahead of time.
I should have just
You
used my
look so
Christian
angry.
school experience to pull it out of my ass.
So yes, those 2 are the same God, but also so are all the other ones. Well, that is that. We're all having a good
Song
time.
here, yep.
Well, this brings us to our second shiny question. This is a game called Hear Me Roar. So we're gonna play some sounds and ask you to identify sounds. We've done things like monster roars, we've done villain laughs. These are going to be video game sounds that you hate to hear. Okay, so hands on those buzzers, and let's hear that first sound. Oh, Erika.
That's Metal Gear Solid when somebody spots Snake.
That is Metal Gear Solid, and what an awful sound it is.
That's my friend's text message.
Is it really?
Yes,
What-
it is.
Is she trying to give herself a heart attack?
She's a very nervous person.
That's great. Was she a nervous person before she made this?
I think it's a little bit of a, recursive thing,
Okay.
This can't help.
Yeah, no, that awful. All right, well, let's listen to that second sound. Shane,
Is that actually
you don't have to say it for the shiny.
this is running out of time in Pac-Man.
No, it's not. It's not running out of time. Pac-Man. Anyone else have a guess for this one?
I was gonna guess
not a
Sonic the
time-based
Hedgehog. Oh wait, Sonic the Hedgehog?
Yeah. Do you know specifically what this sound is from in
No.
Sonic? This is when you're underwater and you're running out of air. It's when you start running out of air, it starts
It's
playing
those
this song.
underwater levels
Yeah.
that
The
are
worst feeling in a video game.
That sound to this day makes me clench up inside and
Yes.
feel truly awful.
just your organs just melt and you
Yes.
just
And those awful feelings will continue as we move on to this third
Good.
sound. Jenny,
Pac-Man.
that's not Pac-Man.
What is no?
Erika,
Is that Centipede?
no, it's not. Shane,
Is this Pac-Man?
Jenny already guessed if it was
Oh,
Pac-Man.
you said that. Oh,
Where have you been?
What a crazy thing if I had given you the point and be like oh, when
Very
Shane says
similar.
it.
It's like they made it with the same little.
Yeah, I'm gonna say that no one got this one. There's multiple versions of this because there's multiple versions of this game, but this is one iteration of a blue shell in Mario Kart. Coming forward. So let's hear.
SNES.
Let's hear sound number 4. These are all awful.
They're all horrible to listen to.
Any
Makes
guesses?
good alarms. for your
Erika.
phone.
Paperboy.
No, it's not Paperboy. Shane? Don't say Pac. I'm just kidding.
I just guess it throughout.
Is it Tapper?
Ta-
Do you remember Tapper?
it's not Tapper.
Oh God.
Jenny, do you have a guess?
Frogger?
It's not Frogger, no. This is the low HP sound in Pokemon. When your Pokemon starts to run out of health, this is yeah, this is you're about to die.
I guess that just shows how good Pokemon masters that the three of us are, because we never got that point.
I never
wish
got
I played
close
the
to
games, I
dying.
never
You're
did.
just like, you get to a halfway point, you pump a hyper potion, you're fine.
Don't eat like why are you playing it that dangerous? Yeah,
Yeah.
keep it safe.
Don't get down there.
All right, let's play sound number 5. Erica.
Oh my God! That's Baby Mario and Yoshi's Island.
That is Baby Mario crying in Yoshi's Island.
He is the worst. He is one of the reasons why I would never have children. I played that game and
Just
I was
that
like,
reason
never again.
Baby Mario keeps you from having each other. That's amazing. Yeah, truly an awful sound. It combines crying with alarms and awful.
Yeah.
Man, if you play any video games, you don't want to have kids. Like, your kids are only going to get lost or kidnapped or fall off of a dinosaur's back.
We only have one more sound left here. Erica's gotten 2, Jenny's gotten 1. So Jenny, you can either come in and tie this. Otherwise, Erica's got this on lock. So let's take a look at this last sound. Erica.
Is that the radio from Silent Hills?
It's close enough. It's Silent Hill 2, but it is the radio static from Silent Hill. Yeah, for
Okay.
sure.
Nice.
Yep, that's it. So that is that's 3 identifications from Erica. That is
Erica.
one from Jenny. That's a point for Erica. Stop that! Let's celebrate with the most celebratory sound we have.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Poor Erica. It's gonna stay in her head for a while.
Hey, we make mistakes too. If you notice something that we got wrong, you can correct us by tweeting at @actuallyshow. We might even give you a point and feature your tweet in the next episode. All right, this is about board games. The board game Pandemic is one of the most popular cooperative board games ever made. Players must work together against the game itself to cure and completely eradicate 4 different diseases before any one of them overruns the world. Shane.
Actually, you don't have to eradicate the diseases. You just have to cure them.
That's correct. You only have to cure them. You don't have to. It's great if you can eradicate them, but yeah, you only have to find the cure, which feels wildly irresponsible.
Just wash our hands of this whole thing.
We
and
did it.
Go on vacation.
So meanwhile, fucking Hanoi is just overrun. And it's like, you gotta fix this. You gotta fix this. Well, that was a point for Shane. The original Neon Genesis Evangelion is about teenager-piloted giant robots called Evangelion, or Evas, battling monsters known as angels. With the countdown to the apocalypse serving as the story's backdrop, fans were surprised at the final 2 episodes, which abstractly explored the protagonist's crippling depression rather than delivering the much-anticipated final epic battle. Erica.
Actually, first of all, it's Evangelion.
Uh-huh.
And second of all, crew agrees with me.
I actually looked this up before because I wanted to be
It's
sure,
okay.
and then I totally beefed it immediately.
There's a lot of anime, and
Yeah.
you gotta look up their names. Also, it ends with the movie.
Gosh, you're right. This is not what we're going for, but that is technically correct.
The best kind
the
of
best
correct,
kind
my
of
friend.
correct. Yes. Was that?
Did you say the original?
We do see the original series. We'll see. I'll maybe give you the point unless we can figure out the other things here, because this is another shitty little question. Shane, what are you guessing over here?
Actually, not all the pilots were teenagers.
No, that's not what we're doing here. Erica.
Actually, they're not giant robots. They're weird souls. They're dead mothers. They're a dead mother. One of them's a dead mother.
I'm going to give you the point
Yeah.
because you've corrected
totally
enough
has
things,
this down.
and also you found the thing that we were looking for. They're not
Yeah.
actually robots. They're
robots.
giant living beings with cybernetic augmentations.
Sure.
So they're not technically robots.
Yeah.
But you found that they weren't robots. You corrected my pronunciation, and you found the other thing. You mentioned the other thing too, which is that there is there's the movie later. The thing we were going for was that they're not technically robots. You got all of them. We'll give you the point. It would be cruel to do anything else. So, point
I feel like the worst kind of person.
no, that was great. This is the worst kind of behavior is what this show is all about. Great, and this will bring us to our last shiny question of the game. This is a game that we're gonna call a title of words. Now, you may have noticed that a lot of fantasy and sci-fi novels have a title that is a blank of blank or a something of something. We've taken 6 of those titles and rearranged the nouns so you can put them back together again. Great, let's flip these over. Let's take a look at this jumble O titles.
Oh no. I thought that I divided them into the front and the back,
and then you come
and now
up
I have
with
like
one missing.
4 fronts.
Let's take a look at what you got. Yeah, Shane, we'll start with you. What do you have here?
I have the name of the wind. I have the sword of Shannara. I have the color of wolves. I have the color of magic. I have the war of the worlds. I have the grace of kings.
You're actually shockingly close. One of those is wrong, though. You have 5 out of 6 correct here.
Wow.
How could one be wrong?
One is wrong.
I must have swapped the beginning and the end.
Perhaps. I won't say for sure,
That's
but
the
maybe.
only logical explanation.
Jenny, what do you have?
Oh, Lord. Let's just say I hated reading my books over the summer, and I would bullshit my way through the summaries.
Not a reader is
Not
what
a
you're getting
reader
at.
until I got older.
Okay.
Because I did not. So this is proof of that. I read mostly comics and, Backstreet Boys magazines.
All right. So can
is
you,
what
can
we
you
One of
tell
these
us,
is a Backstreet Boys
can you
magazine.
tell us the names of our titles
like
here? Yeah.
Teen Bop and all right. So the sword of the Kala.
Okay.
So wrong. The color of the wind, because I'm thinking about Pocahontas.
It is a lovely song. I don't think it's a fantasy novel. Huh?
She's not wrong.
It's not wrong. It's not a book, but it is a lovely song.
It is. Kings of Wolves. Just sounded nice. The Grace of Shannara. Just a graceful person. The War of the Worlds. It's the only one that I was like, yes. Something. And the Name of Magic.
Very good. You have 1 correct here. You have 1 correct here. And Erika, let's see what you got.
I just want to say that I would like to hear her pitch the rest of those, though,
Yeah.
to us.
The lovely thing about
to
that
a
is like
publisher.
all those sound like
I
oh yeah,
will
King
write
of
now
Wolves.
new
I'll
King
read King of Wolves for sure.
Great. The Name of Magic?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I believe that I have the same exact answers. So I have Sword of Shannara, War of the Worlds, Name of the Wind, Grace of Kings, Color of Wolves, Color of Magic. I'm guessing that we messed this one up.
You're correct. Yeah.
then
It should be Wolves of the Kala, not the Kala of Wolves. The other ones are all correct, but you both tied with 5, so you'll both get a point for that one. Very good.
Nice.
Such good students.
Yeah. So there we have our final one.
I was considerably less cool when it came to Backstreet Boy magazine. So.
Well, this is our final question of the episode. Erika, you can tie it up. Jenny, you can tie for second. Shane, you can just pull straight ahead, or we can just flail her out at the end, because this final question, as always, concerns real-life skills. This has nothing to do with any of the things that we've been talking about. This is just something that could be valuable in real life. Go ahead, and there's a piece of paper under the couch. You can just grab that and
Is this like an Oprah
and
thing?
take a look at it.
Oh.
The right tool for the job is of utmost importance, as is the right screw. On your paper there, you can see wood screws, which are typically used in wood, machine screws and hex bolts, which are used to fasten metal components, and carriage bolts, which are used to fasten metal and wood components together.
Watched a lot of Home Improvement. Did not help me here, and building IKEA furniture also does not help me here.
Yes, Shane.
Actually, bolts aren't screws.
No, that's, I mean,
There's a
there
nut
is
at the end. It doesn't go into
there is a very technical difference between bolts and screws, but for the purposes of this this question, they're
the
similar
same.
enough that they're both threaded fasteners.
something about those carriage bolts.
Yeah, they look odd to me. Just not right, and I've never used them.
They're not bolts. Actually, carriage bolts aren't bolts.
You know what? You're close enough. I'll maybe give you the point. Erika.
Actually, are those grommets?
They're not grommets, but yeah, I'm very torn about like how to award this, because you're you're getting hung up on the thing that is wrong, but you're getting hung up in the wrong way.
Once again, it's just coming out of my
Yeah.
ass. I mean, it looks like something is supposed to be screwed into the carriage bolts versus the carriage bolts being screwed into something.
Here's the issue. I'll go ahead and say the answer, and then I'll talk through how, if at all, I'm going to award points. So the issue here is that those are not carriage bolts. You were correct that there was something wrong with the carriage bolts, and that seemed to be a mislabeling of carriage bolt, or like that wasn't how that worked, and that's because. Those were not carriage bolts, so those were what are called sex bolts.
For real?
Because they fit together. But here's the thing. You were able to identify that there was something wrong with the carriage bolts, and you also, you were naming things that were wrong about the image that we displayed there, but you didn't identify that what we pictured were not carriage bolts. So there's a real carriage bolt, and carriage bolt being defined by a rounded top, threading up most of it, but then a little smooth section just below the top. I don't know what to do.
Sorting through the wreckage of
answering
this question.
I might be able to. I could turn this into a point. I could reupholster this into a point if I put a little work in. You know what? I'll give a half point to both you and Erika, which is the same as no points all around. It's still we're still kind of ending up in the same place, which is 5.5 points for Shane, 3 for Jenny, 4.5 points for Erika, making Shane our winner with people coming up right behind there. So that is our show. Thank you so much for joining us, and come back next time for even more pedantic corrections here on Actually.